Buenos días a todos, buenos días comunidad de Git y de GitHub. Bienvenidos a esta transmisión especial. Tenemos acá también como invitado especial a Vicente, que nos acompaña desde México. Nos va a estar acompañando
¿Qué
también
tal,
el día de
Dorian? Buenos
hoy.
días.
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás?
Bien, bien, aquí pues esperando la transmisión.
¿Ansioso o no ansioso?
Sí, no, pues que todas las novedades siempre son cosa de deslumbrarse, ¿no? Al final de cuentas, siempre todo lo nuevo dices, no más.
Sí, sí. A ver, ¿qué esperas del keynote ahorita? Algo que pienses que nos van a
Pues,
sorprender.
pues es que al final de cuentas no te podré decir porque son muchas las novedades las que pueden sacar, ¿no? Entonces, hemos visto que han salido algunas cositas anteriormente, pero pues mejor queda a la expectativa de con qué nos pueden deslumbrar, ¿no?
Sí. Ya nos dieron un gran adelanto con lo de, ¿cómo se llama este? Ay, se me fue el nombre. Del Copilot X,
Copilot X, ajá.
Copilot X. Sí, la verdad es
Ujú.
que ya nos dieron un gran adelanto sobre en ese tema. No sé si ya tuviste la oportunidad de probarlo, de jugar un
Probarlo.
poco con.
No he tenido el tiempo, la verdad. Para ser honesto, no me he dado el tiempo.
Sí, igual, son varias cosas lo que incluye el Copilot,
Ujú,
documentación, lo de la conexión con Visual Studio Code, pues son como que varios temas que incluye, ¿verdad? Entonces, sí, yo
ujú.
igual tampoco lo he podido probar. Vamos a ver si qué nos comentan hoy en el keynote. A
Pues yo
ver.
creo que sí lo van a mencionar de cajón y van a sacar algún ejemplo muy sencillo, la verdad, de cómo funciona, ¿no?
Sí, sí, sí. La verdad es que yo creo que va a ser como que el tema principal,
Ujú,
pienso, porque todos están así ansiosos aunque ya hay varias personas que han estado jugando con el Copilot X y viendo lo de la documentación, también de Copilot y otras cositas ahí, pues
ujú.
que ya se han podido ir dando una idea de lo que se trata. Entonces, a ver con qué más
Sorprenden.
nos sorprenden el día de hoy. Les recordamos a todas las personas que están bienvenidos a participar. Por acá voy a dejar el link si quieren acompañarnos en esta transmisión, en esta nuestra fiesta para ver el keynote. Y pues sí, hacernos sus comentarios, platicar acá con nosotros, dar sus ideas. Son todos bienvenidos. Por ahí les dejé el link. Entonces ahí, igual si pueden comentar a sus amigos para que se unan a esta transmisión.
Perfecto.
Estábamos viendo por acá, voy a compartir la pantalla, que es el GitHub Galaxy de este año. Pues va a durar 4 días, desde hoy martes hasta el viernes 31. Y pues se van a ir hablando varios temas. El día de hoy solo se va a tener la parte del keynote con los speakers, empezando con Thomas Domke, que es el CEO de GitHub. También tendremos una charla de Inbai Shani, Alison Waynes, Marian Zulakain y Mario Rodríguez. Ellos son los que nos van a presentar el día de hoy el keynote, del cual vamos a estar aquí viendo todos nosotros en vivo, compartiendo también qué es lo que nos sorprende el día de hoy. Y ya el día de mañana, el día martes 29, pues empiezan las demás charlas desde las 9 de la mañana, que es hora del Pacífico. Ahí tendremos de 9 a 12, hora del Pacífico, el día jueves, perdón. Siguen las charlas igual desde las 9 de la mañana con, hasta las 12 y el día viernes 31 que el último día de charlas, entonces vamos a ver hay bastantes temas interesantes. No sé si has tenido la oportunidad, Vicente, de ver los, pues, alguna charla, los temas, las charlas y alguna que te llame la atención.
Pues
Eh,
no, la verdad tampoco me he dado a la tarea de centrarme en algún ponente. Digo, la verdad es que todas son muy buenas, pero yo creo que conforme vaya el streaming, yo creo que voy a estar ahí a la escucha.
sí, sí, exactamente.
Sí,
Sí, son varios temas los que se van a hablar y todos están
lo
ahí.
bueno es que queda en, ¿cómo se dice? On demand. Entonces,
Sí, sí,
eso
sí,
es bueno, ¿no? Digo, al final de cuentas, la mayoría de las personas que están trabajando ahorita y que no tienen la oportunidad de verlo, yo creo que pues pueden verlo en on demand. Entonces,
sí,
puede ser
sí,
fin de
así
semana
es.
o Semana Santa.
Sí, cabal. También les damos un como adelanto, el día 14 de abril, digo 13 de abril, perdón, jueves 13 de abril vamos a hacer como un evento extendido donde vamos a traer un resumen de todo lo que se vio en el GitHub Galaxy. Aquí vamos a estar con Vicente, Kevin, vamos a ver quiénes más nos acompañan ese día. Para hacer un resumen de todo lo que se vio en estos 4 días, los temas principales, los que más nos sorprendieron, los que más nos gustaron, qué nos hizo falta, qué nos van a dejar pendientes para el Universe de noviembre, porque todo se va acumulando ya.
Sí, sí, la verdad es que no deja de sorprender GitHub, en serio, ¿eh? Con todo esto de la inteligencia artificial, ¿no? Que están integrando.
Sí, sí, la verdad es que yo he visto algunos videitos que han subido ahí de las personas que han logrado usarlo del Copilot X y sí, la verdad es que
Se ve bueno, ¿no?
se ve bueno. Ya uno ya solo va a decir, quiero tal. Estaba viendo una aplicación que hicieron, no sé si tuviste la oportunidad de ver. eh, eh, una persona hizo una aplicación con de iOS, si no estoy mal, si no recuerdo mal, que para ver sobre películas y todo lo fue ahí sí que escribiendo qué es lo que quería una aplicación que le mostrara las películas recientes, por así decirlo, y que después que le mejorara la parte del diseño, que le mejorara no sé qué, y así. Fue escribiendo hasta que
Ujú.
la verdad es que
Hasta que
sí,
le dio el resultado.
sí, y que ahí sí que sin escribir casi que nada de código, ¿verdad? Entonces, la verdad es que nos va sorprendiendo todo
Ya sé.
lo que se está haciendo, ¿verdad? Entonces,
Pues vamos a ver qué sale más adelante, ¿no?
sí, 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 la verdad es que va a un ritmo muy
Agigantados,
rápido
¿no? Van pasos
y, y,
agigantados.
y uno apenas empezando a aprender algo y ¿a qué
Sí,
hora? Sí, así es. Pues
no tenemos todavía nadie conectado por ahí.
todavía no, estamos aquí esperando a ver quiénes se animan y le tengan que se quiten el miedo de aparecer acá en los, los en vivo. Vamos a ahí que nos compartan a todos sus
Ujú.
contactos para que nos acompañen. Pues todavía faltan 15 minutos para el keynote y
Sí,
para que nos
ya
puedan
casi, ya
acompañar.
casi.
Cuéntanos cómo está la comunidad por allá en México. He visto que han hecho, las charlas están muy bien en vivo, las presenciales.
Sí, pues llevamos apenas tres charlas. Bueno, cuatro en total, porque la primera sí fueron dos ponentes. Pero bien, ahora sí que sí ha habido bastante respuesta por parte de la comunidad. En todos los eventos van entre 80 y 110 personas. Entonces sí, es algo sorprendente, ¿no? Porque sí, mucha gente va con esa hambre de aprender sobre GitHub, ¿no? Y los pues, repositorios, toda la parte del open source. Y pues vamos bien. Ahorita justamente, como te decía, tras bambalinas, no va a haber ahorita en abril, porque nos vamos a ir al evento en Guadalajara, en Talentland. Entonces por allá vamos a estar haciendo un poco de ruido con la comunidad y pues vamos a ver cuánta más se unen, ¿no? Y quién más participa. Y ya para hacer un poco de spoiler, en mayo van a participar dos chicas de la comunidad de Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador pues en el evento, ¿no? Que tenemos mes a mes, ahí en las oficinas de Platzi. Todavía no tenemos tengo como tal sus ponencias, pero sí te puedo comentar y adelantar que son dos chicas, ¿no? Que van a enseñarnos sobre ciertas herramientas de GitHub, ¿no?
Nada, ahí, excelente, excelente. Ahí sí que ya saben que si están por allá en México y quieren acompañar ahí a la comunidad de GitHub por allá con Vicente, pues ya saben que todo lo que se viene para el mes de abril.
Híjole, se me está congelando mucho a mí la pantalla, no sé si me escuchas y me ves bien.
Sí, 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 te escucho y te...
Es que
Sí,
como que de repente como que aparece tu usuario y mi usuario en pantalla negra.
no, pues sí, se ha visto bien todo.
Ok, ok. Pues vamos a dar unos minutos a ver si alguien más se une. Ahí teníamos en el chat a Denny, que estaba en una junta, nos comentaba. Igual ahorita en un ratito se une. No sé si Kevin se iba a unir.
Por el trabajo, ese por el horario de que es como un horario de oficina, sí, no creo que pueda
Sí,
Vamos a pedir
sí, un
que
poco complicado.
hagan en la noche los eventos. Para que todas las personas puedan ir.
Sí, 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 eso sí.
Recuerden que están bienvenidos a participar y salir acá en vivo con nosotros en la transmisión. Para todos los que quieran compartir un momento con nosotros y hablar con nosotros. Ahí les dejé ahí está el link de Stringer para que se conecten y podamos platicar un poco. si quieres, en lo que vamos, ya quedan unos 10 minutos, vamos viendo
Ajá.
ahí poco a poco
¿La agenda?
la agenda de los
Ujú,
días. Aparte que ya habíamos comentado la del keynote, que ya es unos 10 minutos. Está la del día de mañana a las 9. La verdad es que está bastante interesante. ¿Cómo
ujú,
es que ha ayudado Copilot en el tema al desarrollo de la plataforma Duolingo?
ujú,
Esa charla se ve muy bien, la verdad. Vi un artículo en GitHub de cómo Duolingo está utilizando toda la parte de Copilot y pues sí le están sacando, sí le están sacando bastante provecho. La
ujú,
verdad es que está bien interesante ese artículo. Voy a ver si encuentro el link para que todos lo puedan leer. Esta también que nos ayudaría en el tema de productividad,
ujú.
que es la segunda charla del día de mañana. La primera charla del día miércoles, no jueves, pero es que ando perdido con los días. Jueves.
La
¿Cómo
seguridad.
podemos asegurar nuestro código?
Ujú,
La verdad es que todas las charlas están bastante interesantes. Estas más son temas de seguridad,
ujú,
ya que eh, las dividieron en tres fases de
ujú,
productividad, seguridad, que sería el segundo día, que sería el jueves,
ujú.
y el tercer de colaboración y como el trabajo en equipo,
Sí. Ujú,
que sería el día viernes. En esos tres como grupos
ujú,
organizaron las charlas que vamos a tener en estos 4 días y
ujú.
la verdad es que todas se ven bastante interesantes para que las puedan ver ahí. Si no pueden verlas en vivo, pues las pueden ver así por diferido ya más adelante.
Fíjate que
Pero la verdad es
esa charla que hice, incrementar la velocidad de desarrollo con GitHub Enterprise, ha de estar buena. O sea, imagínate cuánto puedes incrementar, ¿no? El ser productivo tirando código. Entonces, suena bien.
sí, sí, sí,
Dale
sí,
más para
sí.
abajo.
Esa ya lo.
Las preguntas frecuentes.
Sí, esto ya es más de todo
Ujú.
de lo que es el
Pues
GitHub Galaxy.
entonces son solo 6 charlas, ¿no? 6 charlas, 2 por día.
Sí, 2 por día
Ok.
de como de lo que no estoy muy seguro si son 3 horas por charla pues esta es de 9 a las 9 y esta es a las 12. No sé si es de 9 a 12 o es o
No, yo creo
serán.
que debe ser como de 1 hora y media, media hora de preguntas y luego dan un break, me imagino yo.
Sí, sí, sí. Sí,
Sí, no,
son-
de 3 horas de charla es mucho. No, es que sea un taller, ahí sí te la creo, ¿ah?
hay veces que ni alcanza. Hay veces que ni
Sí,
alcanza 1 hora.
no, sí, sí.
Sí.
Eso sí. Pues nadie por ahí se ha conectado todavía, ¿verdad?
No, todavía no se han animado. Vamos a dejarles aquí otra vez. Ay,
¿Estás transmitiendo también en Twitch?
no. En Twitch y en YouTube, ajá, desde ahí nos pueden.
Ok, ok. Es que estaba viendo que ahí Denny está en Twitch. Nuestra
Sí.
buena amiga Denny Pérez.
Ahí acabo de volver a copiar, por si se acaban de unir a la transmisión, los
Ujú.
links de Stringer para que nos puedan acompañar, que se animen a unirse con nosotros y ver acá el keynote que tenemos para hoy. Tal vez nos muestren algo de Codespaces, sería algo bueno.
Sí, eso sí, ojalá y sí. CoSpace.
Tal vez nos dan más tiempo, porque a veces que ya ahorita que lo ampliaron a ¿qué? 60 horas.
60 horas mensuales, ¿no?
Ya no alcanzan las 60 horas.
Nunca es suficiente. Nunca,
Sí.
nunca, nunca. Siempre queremos más y todo gratis.
Sí, cara. Sí, cara.
No se mete un ratito en lo que empieza esto.
Sí, sí. Bueno, no tardará a comenzar. Son las 10:30 acá, 9:30 hora de Los Ángeles.
Pues ya nada.
Happening now. A ver, no me sale el link. No me sale el link. Aquí está. No sé si
No se
se logra
escucha, ¿eh?
escuchar bien, bien.
No, no sé si falta que lo configures.
They have to build security. They have to build it fast. They have to build it 100 times a day. And in all of this, our developers are still expected to deliver the best creation of their lives every single day. They're not only dependent on developers to fix today's problems, clear yesterday's backlog, build for tomorrow. It's time for a new developer experience. Our developers do their best work where they can actually enjoy the work they want to do. When they have innovations that they can take the weight off, not add more. From security at every step to collaboration and the cloud to tools that boost productivity, developers need one integrated platform to do it all. This is GitHub Enterprise, the one tool that your developers act. And now we've brought enabling a new developer experience for every developer. The age of AI has begun. AI will define every aspect of the developer experience, surging productivity and possibilities. Development with GitHub Copilot. Now, we are thrilled to bring the capabilities of GitHub Copilot to every organization and every team of developers with GitHub Copilot for Business. We've introduced new capabilities with Copilot for Business designed to help developers build their best. We've added a more powerful AI model to improve the quality of code suggestions. We've added AI-based security vulnerability filtering, VPN proxy support, so developers can use Copilot in any working environment. And we've made Copilot for Business a simple sign-up, so any organization can purchase online and assign seats, even if you don't use GitHub for your source code.
With all this, just imagine the benefits of putting GitHub Copilot in the hands of 100, 1,000, or even 10,000 person development teams. For an organization, developers fixing issues faster means your product and supply chain is more secure. Developers manually writing less boilerplate over and over means your teams are more productive and focused. Developers being able to learn and onboard new technology means they can deliver better solutions for your customers. And ultimately, Copilot for Business gives developers the ability to build for tomorrow instead of spending all their burden with problems of today. We are seeing these benefits spelled out in action for over 5,000 organizations who are already using Copilot for Business. It's been called a second pair of eyes by chief innovation officers. Coyote Logistics development team saves 50% of their time writing config files when using Copilot. And we're thrilled to be partnering with Telefonica, who's bringing the power of GitHub Enterprise Platform and GitHub Copilot for Business into its internal development process. AI-powered auto-completion is just the starting point. 55% productivity is great, but what about helping developers write, build, and deploy software 10 times faster and beyond? Our research and development team at GitHub Next has been working to move past the editor and evolve GitHub Copilot into a readily accessible AI assistant throughout the entire development lifecycle. This is GitHub Copilot X, our mark on the future of AI-powered software development. From a new ChatGPT-like feature inside the editor to answer those tough questions, to AI in the pull request and the full power of GPT-4, Copilot X will help every developer reduce boilerplate work and mundane tasks across the board. While GitHub Copilot X is our mark on the future, we will continue to innovate and update the heart of GitHub Copilot, the AI pair programmer that started it all, so that your developers can build their best today and even better tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And as I mentioned earlier, AI is at the center of GitHub Enterprise's one integrated platform. But there's so much more, from built-in security to collaboration and the cloud. To share more about our platform, I want to introduce you to Inbal Shani, our new Chief Product Officer. Inbal is an experienced business leader with a track record for developer-first products for organizations and leaders. In her most recent position, Inbal was the general manager of Amazon Elastic Container Service. She was responsible for developing solutions to modernize cloud application development. And so I'm personally thrilled to have her apply this experience to GitHub and our entire enterprise platform. Over to you, Inbal.
Hey, and thanks for the intro, Thomas. I'm Inbal Shani, the new Chief Product Officer here at GitHub. So nice to meet you. As Thomas mentioned, throughout my career, I've had the opportunity to work all over the stack, from robotics to cars and cloud. I helped organizations and leaders accelerate their digital transformation, from cloud-native early adopters to those who are just beginning. Software has never been more pervasive. And this goes to the heart of our platform and the heart of my belief as the new CPO. GitHub is only successful when you are successful. GitHub is the one integrated developer platform powered by AI, secure at every step. From idea to deployment, your developers can be more productive when they have one single place to do it all. And today, I want to talk to you about 3 ways GitHub can help every organization equip developers to win the future. And it all starts with developer productivity. We believe that this flow state is vital for every developer. With more and more software needed to run and maintain every day, it's never been more difficult. In order to tap into that flow state, that creative space where magic happens, onboarding time needs to be minimal. Context switching has to be low, and your teams need to be focused on what matters most, which is building great software, basically saving a lot of time. To build great software, work cannot happen in silos. And I'm going to say it again, to build great software, work cannot happen in silo. And we are here to help break down those silos with more collaboration and engagement than ever. When you pair our enterprise platform With Copilot, developers get an extra set of eyes and hands. And as Thomas said, in less than a year since its release, our research shows the developers are already writing code 55% faster. And they're happier too. 75% say that they feel more fulfilled in their job. Wow, right? Look at these numbers. Recently, I was fortunate enough to talk to Chris Tyler, an enterprise architect at Coyote Logistics. And he told me about his journey with Copilot. And his first aha moment was when he realized how much time he was saving. Hundreds of keystrokes with just one tab character. Not having to context switch and look things up was a game changer. He realized Copilot wouldn't take his job, but it just makes people's job better and a lot easier. And my absolute favorite thing he told me is that our hands don't move as fast as our minds do. And that Copilot now give us the ability to move at the speed of our minds. I'm definitely putting that on a t-shirt. Speed, productivity, and less friction is the future. The power of GitHub means that your developers can build at the speed of their own minds. Allison, show us how it's done.
Hi, I'm Allison, and my focus at GitHub is to help your teams do their jobs seamlessly and efficiently. With GitHub's integrated platform, developers have one place to collaborate on code, and this reduces friction in their day-to-day workflows. Imagine this, your company's priorities have changed, and now your team is working on a brand new project. Wild scenario, I know. New language, new parts of the code base, new everything. Think about how much time it would take if your team had to learn a new deployment system, a new editor, and a new work item tracking system, in addition to learning the tech. All of these things slow them down on their way to delivering that new key feature you want to ship. But with GitHub, everything is embedded on one platform, and your developer experience is all in one place, minimizing the set of new things they have to learn to be productive, even in the face of rapid changes. It really works. Forrester research found that teams using GitHub Enterprise saw a 75% improvement in time spent managing tools and a 22% improvement in developer productivity. When everything is changing, GitHub remains a constant for you and your teams. Now, let me zoom out for a second and show you what I mean. When your teams use GitHub, there's a wealth of context they can draw from right from the beginning. Repository READMEs offer overviews they need to get started, available right on the homepage. They can see issues detailing the work and decisions that were made. PRs and commits show the history and evolution of the code base. Discussions track conversations, projects for planning work, and so much more. It's all right there at their fingertips, in the tool they already know and love. Even if you're onboarding a brand new teammate, it's likely they've used GitHub in school, at a previous role, or to contribute to open source projects. And this is just the core platform. There's so much more on GitHub to help your teams do their best work. With code spaces, we can do things like automate environment setup like that, get intelligent auto completions with Copilot, and easily find what we need with code search. Developers are curious by nature. So when learning a new code base, we like to explore before we ever tackle an issue. Without GitHub, we'd probably resort to finding someone to explain the code or start opening file after file to try and understand what's happening, resulting in 100 tabs that we're going to immediately lose track of. But GitHub Code Search helps us help ourselves. Let's assume I work at a pet food company. Now, I need to take a look at this issue, which requires me to update our pet info form to include a new field. To learn more about this form, it's as easy as typing pet info into the search bar to start our journey. Instantly, I get results scoped to this repository. I can filter by the type of artifact, language, and more, so it's easy to hone in on what I'm looking for. This file form looks promising, so let's explore. With the new code view, it feels like other editors I might use. It's got a file tree to my left for navigation through the repository, the classic editor in the middle, and now on the right, an overview of symbols. I can click on any of these to learn more about their definitions or references elsewhere in the repository, all from right here, minimizing the moments where I need to switch tools or tabs. And code search doesn't just work within the confines of your team's repositories. It works across public repositories too, allowing your developers to learn from the vast set of open source code and libraries as well. Being able to find what we need quickly is vital. And with the world's largest public code search index and integrated search experience, GitHub empowers your developers to get the answers they need before they even hit the clone button to start coding, saving them hours of time in the process. Now that we've learned the code base, it's time to get the machine set up so we can start developing. Without GitHub, we'd be tracking down installation instructions, spending hours and sometimes even days on setup, and then hoping our environment holds out long enough for us to complete the task. Thanks to code spaces and pre-builds, it only takes me a minute to get up and running on a new environment for this project. Here's the project I'm starting to work on. Now, as we look at our settings, we see we have a pre-built configuration already up and running. So if I head back to the repository homepage, all I have to do is click Create Codespace to get started. I like staying in my browser, so my Codespace launches in a new tab, and we'll just need a few moments to finish setting up. Remember, with pre-builds, we pre-build the container needed so that you don't have to wait for all your various tools and packages to be installed on each Codespace creation. And there we are, ready to get working. If we need more customization, Codespaces supports that too. With multi-dev container support, recommended secrets, and machine selection, Codespaces allows us to choose what we need so that our environment is perfectly suited for the work we're about to undertake, giving us exactly what's necessary to be productive. For org admins, you can control everything from which users can build code spaces, port level policies to restrict privacy of port forwarding, and cost controls, such as limiting which machine type your team can use. Finally, Codespaces meets your team in the tools they already know how to use, whether that's a bare bones CLI or Vim experience, local Visual Studio Code, or now JetBrains Writer, so they don't have to learn yet another editor to get the benefit of Codespaces. We've checked off context and environment, so now it's time to code. And with GitHub Copilot, your developers will never code alone. Through the power of AI, your teams get auto-completions in microseconds, assistance finding the exact syntax in an unfamiliar language, or help remembering the order of parameters for a common method. While GitHub Copilot for individuals is great for, well, individuals, rolling out and managing access for your organization is just a different game. With GitHub Copilot for Business, you can centrally manage licenses for your developers, enforce organization-wide settings, and coming soon, understand GitHub Copilot analytics within your organization. And we're just getting started. With our latest limited preview leveraging ChatGPT, developers can engage with Copilot in a more natural, iterative way to get help with their most pressing issues. I can ask Copilot to help me debug a selected piece of code, insert the fix it provides, and even ask it to build unit tests to help avoid this error in the future. Look at it go. GitHub Copilot takes care of the routine tasks, so developers can stay focused on their most complex challenges. By giving your developers the tools to focus on what's most important, you're empowering them, which means your business can grow, thrive, and win. This is true for companies like Duolingo, where energy is their most valuable resource. GitHub helps them protect their engineers' time and deliver value faster, 25% faster, in fact. Whether it's one-click environment setup with Codespaces or removing the need to look up boilerplate code with Copilot, their engineers are just more productive. And that's just one of many examples of how an organization immediately saw productivity gains by providing their teams with an easy path to innovation with GitHub.
And this is just the beginning. we are bringing the power of Copilot across the entire developer experience, from onboarding to code search, along with an AI assistant, a Copilot, to help guide you through it all. Now, I want to shift to the second fundamental of GitHub Enterprise: security at every step. Software is everywhere, and security threats will last year, we helped to secure 18 million projects on GitHub because of free security tools like Dependabot and advisory database, and we saved developers countless hours of remediation time by preventing over 16,000 secret leaks since last April. In less than a year, we empower your teams to solve these threats before they arise, to nab them quickly so you're up and running and building for tomorrow. With GitHub, security is integrated so every developer can be a security professional. We are all on the security team because we make it easy for you. Hey, Miriam, tell us more about security at GitHub.
I'm Miriam, and I'm part of the team that helps the world build securely on GitHub. And that's our mission, to secure your code at every step. Think of the thousands of lines of code that exist in your code base today. That number is only growing, and as your code base grows, inevitably, your vulnerabilities do too. Historically, we haven't been able to fix security problems fast enough. Teams take 290 days to close just 50% of their static analysis flaws, all because developers and security teams haven't had the right tools to work together, and developers today vastly outnumber their security counterparts, which means developers must play an active role to fix vulnerabilities when and before they happen. Now, we've all known that, but traditional security tools were not designed with developers in mind. Customers often come to us with security tools that live outside of their developers' coding environment. This means developers need to context switch and slow down to fix problems. That loss of focus hurts productivity, and it doesn't even reduce vulnerabilities. At GitHub, we believe you can be fast and secure. We put developers at the heart of our application security tools that are built into our platform to help you scale your security teams. Take the online retailer Mercari. They swapped their costly homegrown tooling for GitHub's native tools. Their developers now save time when fixing secret scanning alerts, and Mercari can instead funnel those extra resources into meaningful projects. And while developers are often the ones fixing vulnerabilities, they're also the only ones who can prevent vulnerabilities. So naturally, our tooling focuses on prevention. With code scanning, we surface potential vulnerabilities in pull requests so that developers can stay in their flow and fix alerts as they work through other code comments. Meanwhile, security teams can use policies to make sure that their developers actually fix alerts before those issues make their way into production code. This prevention is crucial because a single vulnerability can have enormous impact, damaging customer relationships, safety, and company reputation. Plus, it can cost millions. Last year, developers fixed over 48% of code scanning alerts surfaced in pull requests in real time, transforming the industry standard time to fix and proving that results surfaced proactively do get remediated. And for the millions of developers who rely on third-party dependencies, GitHub Dependency Review helps detect and resolve issues in open source. Last year alone, GitHub helped users fix over 24 million vulnerable dependencies with Dependabot. We also know how damaging a leaked secret can be. So we help you prevent exposure with Secret Scanning's push protection, which blocks pushes that contain secrets to avoid all that messy cleanup. How? Well, let's take a quick peek. Say I'm a member of your development team. I'm writing code quickly because we all want our developers to work fast. Now I add a secret into my file just for testing, but I forget to remove that secret before committing my code. Well, if I do try to push, I'm blocked. To unblock myself, I should remove the secret from my commit history, and I have the secret's location details to do just that. But let's say I'm sure this is a false positive, and this should be rare since our protected secrets have less than 1% false positive rates. But Imagining that it is, I can bypass the protection. I go to the provided link. I select my reason to bypass, in this case, false positive. I click allow me to push, come back to my flow, push, and continue to work. Since we released push protection for GitHub Advanced Security last April, GitHub has prevented over 16,000 secrets from leaking. That's 89,600 developer hours saved. As a developer, that makes me happy. I can work fast, innovate, and save time. But what about my security team? Well, if you're on the security team, you can verify that your contributors take the right steps with tools like your organization's audit log. And GitHub Security Overview helps you identify potential issues across your entire organization. And for application security teams, especially those working in regulated industries, GitHub now lets you export the software bill of materials for your repositories in an industry standard format to streamline auditing and compliance. And for our security researchers who help identify risks, we know that you can spend days or even months manually analyzing code repo by repo to find vulnerabilities. We want to make that a whole lot easier. Now, we let you run CodeQL queries at scale on up to 1,000 repositories to massively scale up your security research and variant analysis across open source. And if you're a researcher and do find vulnerabilities, we let you report those issues responsibly with private vulnerability reporting. Since November, over 550 submissions have been disclosed and moderated by our security lab. These submissions surface critical vulnerabilities for the open source community and power over 12 million Dependabot alerts. With GitHub, security is integrated into your workflows so that you can scale your security with ease. Oh, and along with Dependabot and code scanning, you can now run secret scanning on your public cloud repos for free. Whether it's in public or private repositories, we're dedicated to making your code on GitHub secure at every step.
And now let's shift from security to collaboration, which is the engine of every organization. As I mentioned before, we are breaking the silos for you. With GitHub, your teams communicate and collaborate alongside their code, whether inside or outside your organization. Collaboration on GitHub helps your team be more nimble and better track progress. And collaboration results in efficiency. Working together gets you results faster, but efficiency doesn't stop here. And we double down on efficiency by automating repetitive tasks, all with a centralized place to handle compliance. Hey, Mario, would you mind telling everyone what we're working on?
I'm Mario, and my job is to ensure that efficient collaboration is woven into everything we build and integrated into every part of your workflow. In that distributed world, it's more important than ever that teams can stay aligned and move forward with autonomy. Your software teams need a way to work together in an efficient way, to track progress on projects and initiatives without all of the context switching. The good news is that they can use GitHub's project management tools to plan, track, and communicate what they're working on. With GitHub's upgraded projects and issues, it's all built into the platform, so time isn't wasted on a bunch of disconnected and hard to sync tools. Let's take a look. This Arcade project tracks our work for a new game we're developing. We start in our table view, which is inspired by a spreadsheet that is connected to the GitHub graph. We use it mainly as a backlog where we can rank and visualize work. Let's group it by release. Let me re-rank the backlog really quick. The information density of this view is great. I absolutely love this feature. Now, my team uses Kanban and has a ritual of doing stand-ups. For that, we use a board view to get us aligned. We track different states all the way to done. This is very simple but effective. For those complex tasks that need to be decomposed, we introduce task lists. Task lists allow you to break down epics into user stories and user stories into tasks. You can then traverse the hierarchy with ease to gain context and status. We also love iteration and fast cycles. And you can see that we created a perspective by switching the column field to be able to create a quick look into what is ahead. And speaking of what is ahead, at Universe, we announced roadmaps. Our roadmap view is great for visualizing work in a timeline to assemble that perfect plan for your product. Roadmaps are now generally available, so go ahead and check them out. And with GitHub Mobile, project management can go anywhere your developers are. You can now quickly update the status of an issue in your Kanban board right before boarding a plane. I do that a fair amount. And when one developer knows what's important and what others are working on, there's more opportunity for collaboration. But collaboration doesn't just happen within your company walls. More than 90% of businesses use open source software. What might surprise you is that companies own, lead, and maintain some of the largest open source projects on GitHub. So collaboration with developers outside your org is just as important as within. For the open source projects companies rely on, we got a way to ensure their longevity. A few years ago, we launched GitHub Sponsors. The program is now available in 68 countries and has generated nearly $25 million of investment for open source projects and maintainers. Soon, we'll launch the general availability of our biggest program expansion yet, giving any organization the ability to sponsor open source projects through an invoice or credit card payment. And with bulk sponsorships, you can quickly sort through your dependencies and sponsor the maintainer of each one. At GitHub, we're all about supporting developers and organizations of all shapes and sizes to allow them to deliver quality code efficiently and consistently. But manual tasks get in the way. Doing the same thing over and over again is not the developer way. We want to support developers by allowing them to define processes one time, automate them, and focus on what they do best, writing code. As teams grow, the development lifecycle grows more complex, and the risks of missing steps or having checks bypassed increases. With GitHub Actions, we can automate the repetitive parts of the job, decreasing the chance of human error, and accelerate software delivery, all from within the platform where your teams are already building, making them happier and more efficient than ever. GitHub Actions runs more than 130 million CI jobs every month, helping teams ship software faster, whether that's by decreasing build times or improving their time to merge by 33%. And you don't need to build your automation from scratch. With the Actions Marketplace, populated with over 17,000 actions created by the community, you can build upon the work of others. We talked about humans don't like repetitive tasks, and I hate to break it to you, humans also cut corners. So if you're betting on your team to set up every new repository with each set of actions they need manually, you're eventually going to lose that bet. But with one of our latest features, Require Workflows, teams can define and enforce standard CI/CD practices within an organization without needing to configure each repository individually. For example, you can ensure that centrally defined requirements are met before code is merged, and reusable workflows allow you to centralize and standardize workflows across your entire instance. Think of it as a mini Actions Marketplace just for your company. As your automation requirements grow more complex, they require more resources. And to help support even your most intensive operations, we've added support for larger runners, up to 64 cores. While it might seem counterintuitive, increasing the size of runners can actually decrease overall costs and keep your team on track. For example, it can take a 2-hour build time down to 20 minutes, reducing time loss, context switches, and overall costs. Over 4 million companies turn to GitHub today to help streamline their development practices. If you want to be our 5 millionth GitHub customer, you might already be thinking about the time and energy to switch. But if you switch tools before, and let's be honest, we have all done that before a number of times, you know it can be time-consuming, painful, and error-ridden. Well, we have you covered. GitHub Actions Importer allows you to automate the process of migrating your workflows, whether you're coming from Circle CI or Jenkins, simplifying one more step in adopting the GitHub platform. From built-in project management capabilities to powerful workflow automation with GitHub Actions, GitHub empowers your organization to scale, because when collaboration meets efficiency, great things happen.
You just heard how GitHub Copilot uses AI to help developers move at the speed of their own minds. You heard how our enterprise platform is secure at every step to prevent vulnerabilities before they happen. How GitHub helps developers collaborate on code without context switching, to get your results faster, and the way that automation reduces friction in workflow so your teams get more done. And this is just the beginning, as we will continue to boost our security offering, increase collaboration capabilities, and embed AI in our platform to put your developers first, so you can grow your business, so you can go out and launch the next big idea, so you can build for tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here today to kick off GitHub Galaxy. Join us for the next 3 days to more detailed session on productivity, security, and collaboration. I am excited about the future. I hope you are too. Let's build from here.
Bueno, ya pudimos ver el keynote del GitHub Galaxy 2023. La verdad es que estuvo bastante interesante. No sé qué les pareció a ustedes. Hicieron, no sé si vieron la parte de interesante de lo que es Copilot, que a eso básicamente fue lo que hablaron, todo lo que en todas las áreas donde han introducido a Copilot y Copilot X, que es la última versión. La verdad es que está bastante interesante todo lo que se puede hacer ahora en la plataforma de Hijo como tal, en la parte de los issues y las tareas y todo eso. La parte del Code Spaces, wow, sí, la verdad es que estuvo bastante interesante el keynote, nos dieron muy buenas cosas de lo que están haciendo ahora en cómo reducir nuestro tiempo de desarrollo, cómo mejorar nuestra productividad. La verdad es que estuvo muy bueno el evento. Eh, Recuerden que es un evento de 4 días, que como bien podríamos ver ahí, está dividido en 3 días a partir de mañana, de seguridad, productividad y de desarrollo. Entonces, esperamos puedan ver ustedes las charlas, y si no, recuerden que el el jueves 13 de abril vamos a tener nosotros un evento extendido donde vamos a traerles un resumen de estos 4 días que dura el GitHub Galaxy 2023. No sé si alguien quiere algún comentario o algo que le haya gustado de para que nos dejen ahí sus comentarios. Recuerden que nos pueden escribir o seguir en nuestras redes sociales, que pueden ver el link ahí. Y pues vamos a seguir disfrutando de estos 4 días del GitHub Galaxy 2023, que la verdad empezó muy bien, bastante interesante con todo esto que nos acaban de enseñar, más enfocado siempre en Copilot y Code Spaces, todo lo que podemos hacer con ellos ahora, las mejoras que le han hecho en la plataforma. Pues espero que les haya gustado y pues nos vemos en una próxima ocasión. Y recuerden seguirnos en nuestras redes y hasta pronto. Nos vemos.